And if you're new here, I'm Isla J, and I own the Isla J Experience. Not the light just cut out. So we'll start at how I manifested my apartment, okay? Let me tell y'all. So 6 months before I moved into the unit that would become my short-term rental hosting unit, I would get up every morning and pray. I was sleeping on the floor at a relative's house, and you know, it was dark, right? Like, it was dark, and I didn't care. I seen the light. I was working at a salon where the owner had a vendetta out against me. I feel like I was being iced out of appointments and all types of stuff was going on, and it was just this crazy experience. And I decided, okay, enough. Quit the salon and walked out on faith, y'all. I walked out on faith. That's it. I walked out on faith, and I said, okay, you need to make a plan about what you're gonna do and how you're gonna do this. So I was, praying, and I was getting up every morning and I was writing a gratitude list. Mindset is so important when you're going into anything, business, finances, whatever you are struggling with now, your mindset to that is super important. So I was writing gratitude lists even though I was in a situation I was in, and I was planning my future. I wrote down the day that I would move into that apartment. I wrote it down on a piece of paper. I had a red notebook. Y'all, I wish I could find this notebook. If I can find it, I'll show y'all. But I wrote down in this notebook, and I said, I'm gonna move into this apartment this day, and this is how I'm gonna do this. And I wrote down all my goals. I wrote down exactly what I wanted in the apartment. I wrote down every single thing, right? I wanted a balcony. I wanted it to be nice. I wanted it to be updated, all this stuff. I had got approved for about 3 or 4 units in that same building before I got the unit. Actually, I had got approved for 2 units in that same building before I ended up getting the unit that would become my unit. And when I got this unit, you guys, I had lost the first, I had got approved and accepted into the first 2, but I was saving the money to be able to get the unit. So I was like, okay, well, me and the property manager were in regular contact. Like, we were in regular communication. We were talking to each other all the time, and she was the property manager at the time. She doesn't even work there anymore, but she was great. So let me tell you how this happened. So I ended up saving up the money, and I wrote down, like I told you, I wrote down the day I wanted to move in. The day I decided to move in, I had everything I needed for that day, and I got approved for the exact apartment that I wanted. The other 2 units didn't have everything that I wanted, but they had like majority, they might have been missing this or might have been missing that. The other 2 didn't even have a balcony. And I was just like gonna settle because I was in a circumstance where I was willing to settle. I'm like, okay, well, I just need something right now because I can't keep living like this. So fast forward, God was like, no. You said you wanted it this way. Don't settle for that other stuff. You're gonna get it this way. So they ended up not falling through for the other 2 units. The time frame and everything was not working out, right? The 3rd unit I got was exactly what I wanted. They had barely finished like making sure everything was done in there, and the property manager took me in there anyways. Like, I'm telling y'all, she's probably been cool looking. And so she ended up taking me in there anyways and was like, yeah, this is what it looks like. They have to clean it up and stuff first because the maintenance people haven't been working and preparing it for being on the market or whatever. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is perfect. Now, she showed me the unit, and I already had told her I was gonna assign to it. So she was like, there's a butterfly in this unit that flew in from the balcony. Y'all, this balcony, I mean, this unit was not on a low floor. This unit was not on the ground floor, the first floor, none of that, not even the 5th. So for a butterfly to be flying that high and fly in through the balcony, it was like mind-blowing to me. Y'all, I got this tattoo that year, February. I moved in July. Okay? So, and if you didn't see that, this is a tattoo of a butterfly flying away, okay? I was in a very transformative time, and I was like, okay, I wanted to get a tattoo of a butterfly. Now, my favorite animal is the elephant, so the fact that I went out and got a butterfly was like, why did she go with a butterfly? And I just was like, spur of the moment, I got a butterfly. Found it on Pinterest, saved it to my Pinterest tattoos, board, and wanted it and got it. And so it was just like a impromptu thing. The butterfly, y'all, in question, I was in there about the first week. I didn't stay there because I had to move my furniture to the unit, and ended up not moving into the week after. Y'all, I didn't find this butterfly to the week after that. So about 3 weeks after I moved in, I found this butterfly. And y'all, she was telling me it was in the kitchen, in the lighting, right? Y'all, I had walked into my bedroom one day and I was like, what is on the floor? What is that? I'm like, how did some leaves get in here? Like, there's some leaves in here. Y'all, I'm gonna insert the pictures. It was the butterfly. It was the butterfly on the ground in the room. I was never gonna miss that. If the butterfly would have died in a lighting fixture, I would have never known. And then there would have just been that story of the butterfly, and I'm like, oh, well, never seen it, didn't know. It was in the room. So that means it was flying around the unit at some point, and it was in there. Y'all, and they say butterflies stand, because of the metamorphosis, transformation, growth, all those great things. When I tell you this unit became all of those things for me, it became all of those things for me. So that's how I started. I manifested my apartment by writing down exactly what I wanted, how I wanted it, showing gratitude every day and praying for it every day, and just knowing I was gonna be blessed with it and the resources to be able to fund it, right? And when I moved in, there was the confirmation of the butterfly. The butterfly was in the unit. So there was a confirmation of the butterfly, like, okay, this is gonna be a transformative period and experience for you. And it was all of that. By that fall, I had started deciding, okay, well, I'm not working at the salon anymore. I had built my own clientele on my own. However, I was like, okay, I need more than one stream of income. Just being a hairstylist, that's not gonna work for me. So I was like, okay, what are passive income ways? What ways can I make income? All my clients were coming through, giving suggestions and just talking to me, because like I said, all my clients have always loved me, and I've always loved my clients. We're like family. So so they were giving me suggestions and different things, and then next thing you know, I'm like, one of my clients were like, yeah, you should post this up on Airbnb. And I was like, should I? And then I was like, I don't know, sounds great, but I don't really know. And so then one day I just decided, okay, I was sitting at home, twiddling my thumbs, thinking, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. And so I just did it, right? I took some pictures, I posted it up, put some, the lowest pricing that Airbnb suggested at the time. I put that on there, just went on there and did it. Y'all, so I'm sitting there thinking, a couple days later, and I'm just like, I posted it and forgot about it, right? I'm like, I go to check the account. To see let's see if it's got any inquiries or people that are thinking about staying. Somebody had literally requested to book for the next day. Now, with somebody booking for the next day and me looking at my apartment thinking oh, this is just gonna be, something that happens over time. I might not get a booking right away. I'll have time. Y'all, I had nothing unpacked. I'm gonna insert videos. I had nothing unpacked, nothing organized. I stayed up for 48 hours. This was me after the 48 hours. I stayed up 48 hours cleaning, organizing the apartment, making sure everything was spick and span. And this is what the apartment looked like afterwards. I made sure everything was spick and span and just ready for guests. I disinfected, I cleaned it from top to bottom. I used all the top-notch disinfectant products to make sure this unit was cleaned. Okay, because part of this was OCD, but anyways. And y'all, when you're in your origin story is what I like to call it. All of what I've just told you is an origin story. When you have your origin story, you know, like a villain or like a superhero, you know, Clark Kent, you know, Superman. Okay. Anyways, when you have Spider-Man, okay, when you have your origin story, nobody really is like, you know, really caring. Nobody's really caring about what you're doing until you start gaining traction, and then people are like, "Are you doing this? Oh, like, oh, you into this? Like, oh, hey, like, I know you. Like, let's." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, you know, like, people are starting to know this is starting to happen." Okay, like, so it went for my first guest. Was I'm gonna insert her review. She literally was saying like, my unit made being homeless kind of fun. And y'all, 6 months before that was me. So like living place to place and didn't really have, you know, a stationary place to be. So it was just like mind blowing that was her story. And it was so full circle. And then now I'm a realtor, so it's even more full circle because I understand the closing process and how that would have affected somebody literally not having a home, you know, thinking they're gonna close at one point and things being extended and elongated. So anyways, yes. So my first guest was my inspiration, like to keep going, and that this was meant for me. This was a path that was meant for me. Then I had guests like this who just were phenomenal, gave me advice because they do short-term rentals, and they wanted to talk to me, and they talked to me about this afterwards, after their stay, just, you know, recommending things, suggesting things, and, you know, just chit-chatting. So yeah, I built a community through short-term rental hosting of people that were just like, go you know what I'm saying? And it was just mind-blowing. It was just mind-blowing. I had this guest and his lovely wife give me a TV, y'all. What's the TV? They gave me a TV, like, for no reason. Like, he literally just texted me right before his stay and was like, I have a TV that I'm giving away and I see you don't have a TV. Y'all, and I meant to mention that my first guest stayed without a TV. You guys, like, I am literally smiling from ear to ear because I'm just like so excited that it all worked out. It was all good. They didn't have a TV, they didn't care. They stayed here for over a month. They were closing on a house, so it took a minute, but I'm just so grateful and so blessed that they were able to, y'all, they paid the rent. Okay? I mean, that's obviously what the goal was, you know, to profit, but it was just like one guest, you know what I'm saying? One time, the first time. Oh, it was such a blessed experience. So she ended up, you know, staying without a TV. And then a guest later ended up giving me a TV. Like, I was mind blown. Like, what? Like, thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for just being this generous and kind. Like, because I was gonna get a TV. Now, the story of what happened to the TV, I had a TV in my unit. However, during a mounting malfunction, it got broken. And it's so crazy. I still have both TVs to this day. The broken one and the one he gave me. So it was broken and the screen was like black. And I was like, well, you know, I'm gonna just replace it when I can. Like, I'm not gonna really worry about it right now. So, you know, he ended up giving me a TV. Like, I was so shocked. Like, huh? Like, what? Okay, thank you. Like, and he even offered to bring a TV stand back his next stay because he loved the unit. Okay, I was extremely big on going above and beyond for my guests, making sure the unit was cleaned. I hired professional cleaners. Like, after my first day, I learned my lesson. With the turnover rate and me still being a hairstylist on the side, weekends were too crazy for me, so I ended up hiring a great professional cleaning service. She's gonna be a recommendation in my book, so hopefully you guys will go get the ebook on April 1st. Like, it'll have recommendations in there. I give y'all a whole blueprint of how to do this and how to start. So, and also that free starter short-term rental checklist will be in the link description down below. So please go get your checklist so that you can be in preparation and getting ready for to list your short-term rental and start your journey. Cause y'all, anybody can do this, really. And when I say anybody can do this, I say that in a way like, if you want to, and this is something you're interested in, you can do this too, babe. I believe in you. I did it, and I was like, you know, when something's for you, things they just work out. You're just blessed, and that's how this journey was for me. So I had a guest give me a TV, and I've had all my stays, like, I was a super host. And I love being a super host, and I was just like, and I went above and beyond. These are my stats from being a super host. I go above and beyond for my guests, and I was making sure they had a chance to communicate with me if anything went wrong, if anything they were concerned about, if they didn't know how to do something. Like, I was right there, 11 o'clock at night, texting back. 7 o'clock in the morning, right there, texting back. And it paid off. Now, you know, eventually you can hire and outsource and delegate these tasks to other people. I ended up having one of my old cleaners who had a niece who was interested in getting into the field. So she offered, you know, she wanted me to mentor her. So through this journey, I became a mentor. Y'all, mine was wow. God called me, and I picked up the phone so I could call y'all. So I could call my mentee. So I could, you know, you get what I'm saying? Yeah, God called me, and, you know, I had a co-host, and she learned, and I was able to give her a lot of knowledge to begin. And I ended up switching from being a short-term rental host to a business professional host because the turnover rate and the, you know, every weekend or every other week, whatever, you know, however the length of your stays were, it was taking a toll on me because I'm like, okay, you know, now I'm doing lots of work back to back, and I'm busy on the weekends. So I had to cancel hair appointments, I had to cancel stays, and it was just getting too much of a time crunch for me to be able to do such a quick and short turnovers. So I found a solution, and I ended up doing business professional stays where people were staying from anywhere from a month to 6 months and things like that. So I ended up starting that journey, and it was great. It was so relieving because I was still doing hair. So I needed my weekends back, and I needed to be able to be stable and consistent in what was going on. So like I said, not to discourage anybody from short-term rental hosting, Airbnb and things like that, because it's definitely worth it. If you have the time, and you, like, you know, me, I was splitting my time between two things that would need me wholeheartedly all the way physically there all the time. And my co-host at the time, she had a lot going on in her life as well, and jobs, work, balance, and all of that. And so that journey was what it was. I moved on to business professional hosting, and in business professional hosting, I was just like, okay, you know, let's go do this. Like, let's make it happen. And so I posted and published on this site, and I got lots of good inquiries. It probably took a couple days, but it was like the first day, the miss was a traveling nurse from Philly, and she drove here And she stayed for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then something happened and she had to go back home. So some things got switched around with her contract, so she had to go back home, which I was really flexible about. And she went back home, and right after she left, somebody else inquired and was like, hey, like, I think it was like that weekend, really. And so he inquired to stay, and he was a power contractor from Canada, and he was here on business, and they kept extending his contract, so he ended up staying quite a while. And it was just great. It was just overall great. Like, it was a great experience. It was very like easy for me because I could still do hair, and I could still be active in my hair business, and I could still make the passive income on the side. It was close. It was basically the same thing as being a landlord with a tenant. Yes, that basically was the concept. Business professional hosting was a great relief for what I needed at the time. I did host on other booking sites for short-term rentals, and that was, it was what it was. I had clients who were a little bit more snobby on there. Their attitudes were a little bit off. So I was like, I don't know if this is for me. But, because, the energy has to be right for me. Like, I don't even care about the money. Like, if the energy's off, I'm good. So I did have guests tear up my place before. One guest tore up my place. I guess him and his friends came in from town, from Florida or Ohio, somewhere. Y'all, he left weed on my balcony, like a blunt. And it's just like, the thing is, what, y'all, I had to ask myself, like, what was your intentions? If you know, you know. Like, what was your intentions? So, and then he had way more guests in the unit than I allowed it for. And I was like, you know what I'm saying? I had, you know what? I'm gonna take some accountability here. We have been in communication. We were supposed to meet at one time. I didn't get a response at that time. I waited around for like an hour, still didn't get a response. And then got a response like 3 hours after the meeting time was supposed to be. And he, and I get it, you could be driving in, whatever. And he tried to call me like, oh, can we please, like, so what do we have to do, find somewhere else? And I'm like, yeah, it's a wrap. Like, I'm not in the area anymore. I can't, assist you. And so I'm like, no, it's over. And, he's like, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. Like, so here's me with my good old heart. Emotions and business don't mix. But here's me to a certain extent. But here's me with my good old heart. And this was one of the mistakes and lessons that I learned very quickly, because I decided to let him stay. Y'all, he only was staying for a day. Staying for a day and checking out the next day at 11 a.m. Destroyed. I'm talking about food everywhere. Toilet was clogged and nasty. They left clothes tags all over the place. It was candy wrappers in the bed. Like, they broke the handle off the desk. Like, then they left a little joint on the balcony. I'm just looking like, you know what this is? This is from me accepting a stay after the terms, after the time, and not remaining my boundaries and upholding my boundaries within my business, because I had been learning that lesson tough at the time, because like I said, I was balancing doing hair and also making sure stays were well accommodated for prior to stays. So I accepted this stay after the time and let things go. I was like, yeah, you're gonna get a refund. It's gonna be like 50% or whatever, because I was prepared and ready and you weren't here, like, and I didn't hear from you, so I'm out. It was 3 hours later. And I decided I was only 10 minutes from the unit, so I decided to I was like 15 minutes out, so I decided to turn around and accommodate anyways. and I should have upheld my boundaries and not done that because I paid for it in the end. However, at the time, my professional cleaners came through and took care of everything, but I was like almost embarrassed to even let her clean because the unit was disgusting. And I'm like, why would they do this? But regardless of the point, regardless of all of that, that was the one stay I had where I was like, what? And that was close to the breaking point of beginning to go to a different platform to host more longer length stays, because that was just going to be better for me. Because yeah, so that's what I ended up doing. And that's when I started business professional hosting, which was, you know, a much easier, relaxed type of thing, you know, and it worked out for me. I was able to do my hair business and still have passive income coming in and balance that life out. So now I'm still in the short-term rental business. I'm still in the business professional hosting business. I have it on hold though, because I want to be in investment properties and get my investment properties going first, and then I'll start back up actively hosting. However, now I know the routes to go and where to list and all those good things, and I've learned so much on this journey, the mistakes that were made, learned from those lessons. And yeah, if there's any questions that you guys have from this journey, please comment them down below. Whatever you need. I'll be going live on my Instagram, educating on this topic, in my expertise and pro tip. Link down below will be the free short-term rental checklist and the website where the ebook will be available. Come back to YouTube and talk with me every week. My biggest goal is to help others succeed. Like, bless you guys with what I've been blessed with. And that's the knowledge and the experience and the value in it. So, like I said, God called me. I picked up the phone and called y'all. Okay? So, I think it's gonna be the closing. Like, I like that. God called me. I picked up the phone and called y'all. You get what I'm saying? So, here I am. So, yes, leave any of your questions, comments, and concerns down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And come back and check in with me every week, y'all, because this is only episode 1 of this real estate journey series. The following episodes will be actually getting into the industry, pre-licensing, taking the test, all those good things. That's going to be on the next episode. So please come back and tap in with us so you can learn if that's what you're interested in. And let's learn together. Let's learn and evolve together this industry. Like I said, there's so many different positions and roles that go into one real estate transaction. So there's many different ways for you to get involved and become a part of that process. And I would love to help to be a person that you can come to and a resource that you can come to ask questions and just, help you get started in any way I can. So, and also the short-term rental business, I love to educate on that. So don't be afraid. Don't be scared. You can slide in my DMs. Not like that. I don't need it. But y'all know I'm gonna play with y'all. If you made it this far in the video, drop some purple hearts in the comments because I love y'all for that. I really do. So I'll see you on the next video. And don't forget to come hang with us. Bye. Also, y'all, before I leave y'all, don't forget, okay, do this for me in the comments. If you made this far in the video, not only put your questions, comments, concerns, also put in some things you want to see from me. What do you want to know? What can I help you with? What things do you want to know? Like I said, I've been in business for myself since I was 13 years old. From formatting an LLC to getting business funding, I have education on it all, y'all. I've taken plenty of courses, plenty of webinars from 8-figure business owners now. So I have that knowledge and I would love to pass it on to you. And, let's learn together. Let's become together. Let's become successful together. Let's do this together. Let's go on this journey together. Let's hold each other accountable. Let's be committed to this. If we locked in, ain't no switching up. You already know. Come on now.